Hi everyone, this is Sarah from Japan. Welcome back to another Biblical Prophetical Read-Along. Today I'd like to start with a commentary from the book of Haggai. Okay, so please listen carefully as I read the commentary, the introduction to this book. Okay, out of my King James Bible here. Okay, so the last three books of the Old Testament were written following the return of the exile in Babylon. From the exile in Babylon, sorry. Ezra, Nehemiah, and other captives came back to rebuild the temple and the walls of Jerusalem. Haggai delivered his message from the Lord in 520 BC. Zerubbabel had taken the first group of exiles back to the homeland in 538 BC, and they had started rebuilding the temple. Construction was halted during the rebuilding because of opposition and apathy. Several years passed by with no rebuilding taking place. As a result of Haggai and Zechariah's challenge to the people, the temple was completed in 516 BC. Haggai's message not only dealt with the rebuilding of the temple, but with deeper concerns for the child of God. The people encouraged to build a temple. Okay. So, chapter 1. The foundation of the temple had been laid about 15 years earlier, but the building had completely stopped. Haggai proclaimed in a message from God that the poor crops and other problems were the result of their neglect to rebuild the temple. Haggai urged the people to rebuild. The motivated people responded with real commitment, and within 24 days, work was begun. The word of encouragement, chapter 2, verses 1 through 9. This second message of Haggai was delivered in about October of 520 BC. The people were saddened and discouraged because Solomon's temple had been so fabulous, and these plans were so modest in comparison. The prophet encouraged the people and told them that they should take heart because this building would be a foretaste of the splendor and glory of the end times when peace and prosperity would abound. Okay, so it would be a foretaste of the third and final temple here. Instruction about the effects of sin, chapter 2, verse 10 through 19. Even though the people had committed themselves to rebuilding of the temple, this did not fully negate the consequences of their earlier sins. They were looking for immediate blessings, but the prophet reminded them that it sometimes takes a while to get over the consequences of sin as holiness is developing. Okay, so this is very true. Sometimes, yeah, it does. Even when we get saved, there's sometimes consequences of things that we've done while we were unsaved. I don't know, I guess, like my consequence of marrying an unsaved person. I wasn't saved when I married him, but after I got saved, it's been a very difficult path. Like even today, we had a ceremony for his father. It's the 49th day memorial service thing that they do. And they're lighting incense in the house and praying to the picture of it, and saying prayers and things like that. And that's something that I have to deal with. It breaks my heart every time I see it, but I have to deal with it. I have to deal with my husband praying to 3 altars twice a day, and whenever they come home. And so, even though I'm saved, I still have to deal with the consequences of marrying an unsaved man. So, anyway, moving on. So, their previous neglect of God had serious consequences, but as they turned to God and put Him first in every aspect of their lives, He would bless them. This was Haggai's third disclosure, and it came in November or December of 520 BC. A word from Zerubbabel, chapter 2, verses 20 through 23. A message of hope for Zerubbabel was presented in the fourth and final sermon of Haggai, delivered in December of 520 BC. The future tribulation period is referred to as a time when the kingdoms of the nations will be destroyed and the kingdom of the Messiah will be set up. Zerubbabel stands in the line of David and represents David's family. The throne of David will be set up in its glory, and the Messiah will reign eternally. Okay, so if you want to know more information about after what happened after the exile, you can read in what led to the building of the second temple. You should read Ezra and Nehemiah. Okay. Now I'm going to go for now, and I'm going to start another video with Haggai chapters 1 and 2. I'll be right back.